Hello everyone, good day! I am your English teacher for today, Ma'am Cherime A. Kaduyak, and welcome to our virtual class in English 10. Today, we are going to go through your English 10, Module 7 of Quarter 2, Multimodal and its Elements. But before we start, make sure that you have with you your English 10 Module 7 of Quarter 2, your pen, and of course, your notebook. Our lesson for today will gear you to compose texts which include multimodal elements. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to identify the elements of multimodals, transcode emojis into plain text or word, create instructional video or script for presentation using animated images. Let us now do your first task, entitled What I Know. Let us see your prior knowledge about our lesson for today. Directions. Read and answer the questions below with your knowledge of the topic to be discussed. Use a clean sheet of paper for your answers. Write the letter of your choice. Number 1. What is the other term for pictures? A. Illustration. B. Still image. C. Image. Number 2. Facial expressions is an example of A. Spatial. B. Gestural. C. Audio. Number 3. Line, shape, size, and symbols are resources of A. Digital multimodal text. B. Live multimodal text. C. Visual multimodal text. Number 4. This element of multimodal text observes the vocabulary and grammar. A. Linguistic. B. Visual. C. Spatial. Number 5. This element of multimodal text uses color, images, and vector. A. Aural. B. Spatial. C. Visual. Number 6. It is the movement of the body, the facial expression. A. Gestural. B. Spatial. C. Aural. Number 7. Animation, infographics, screencast, and ebook are examples of A. Digital multimodal. B. Print multimodal. C. Physical multimodal. Number 8. Multimodal can be print, blank, or digital. Provide your answer. Number 9. Language modes: listening, speaking, reading, writing, viewing, and videographing are often integrated in composing multimodal text. Is it true or false? Number 10. Emojis are considered as gestural and visual. Is it true or false? And now, let's check your answers. Number 1. B. Number 2. B. Number 3. C. Number 4. A. Number 5. C. Number 6. A. Number 7. A. Number 8, physical. Number 9, false. Number 10, true. Did you get high scores of 10 over 10? Don't worry, because we are going to start our lesson for today. Our lesson 1 is multimodal text. Communication is not only relaying messages through voice and letters. It does not limit its purpose to written and verbal text. Many texts are multimodal, where meaning is communicated through combinations of 2 or more modes. Modes include written language, spoken language, and patterns of meaning that are visual, audio, gestural, tactile, and spatial. Multimodal texts include picture books, textbooks, graphic novels, comics, and posters, where meaning is conveyed to the reader through varying combinations of visual or still image, written language, and spatial modes. Digital multimodal texts such as film, animation, slideshows, e-posters, digital stories, and web pages convey meaning through combinations of written and spoken language, visual or still and moving image, audio, gestural, and spatial modes. Live multimodal texts, for example, dance, performance, and oral storytelling, convey meaning through combinations of modes such as gestural, spatial, spoken language, and audio. Visual text, for example, representation of people, objects, and places can be conveyed using choices of visual semiotic resources such as line, shape, size, line, and symbols, while written language would convey this meaning through sentences using noun groups and adjectives which are written or typed on paper or a screen. And now, let us proceed to the elements of multimodal text. A text may be defined as multimodal when it combines 2 or more semiotic systems. Here are the elements of multimodal text. Number 1, linguistic. Vocabulary, structure, grammar of oral or written language. Number 2, visual. Color, vectors, and viewpoint in still and moving images. Number 3, audio or oral. Volume, pitch, and rhythm of music and sound effects. Number 4, gestural. Movement, facial expression, and body language. And number 5, spatial. Proximity, direction, position of layout, organization of objects in space. Multimodal text can be print, physical or digital. Below are examples of types of multimodal text: movies, booklets, infographics, sketchnoting books, emails, podcasts, advertisements, newscasts, book trailers, animation, images with annotation, comics, visual note-taking, tutorial guides, typed drawing, text messages, screencasts, blogging, presentations, broadcasts, mind map, e-books, diagrams, cards, letters, posters, videos. The NSW syllabus for the Australian curriculum defines modes, multimodal and language modes as comprising more than one mode. A multimodal text uses a combination of two or more communication modes, for example, print, image, and spoken text, as in film or computer presentations. And now, we will proceed to your task 2, entitled, What's New? Activity 1, Picture or Movie Interpretation. Directions. Give the proper meaning or interpretation of the given emojis. Let me give you an example. For the image broken heart and time, it simply means break time. Are you now set for your number 1? Then try. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And number 10. And now, let's try to check your answers. For number 1, it means running late. Number 2, it means good luck. Number 3, it means party time. Number 4, it means be quiet. 5, it means you go girl. Number 6, it means see you soon. Number 7, it means be on time. 8, it means no monkey business. 9, it means laughing out loud. And 10, it means call you today. Did you get all the items right? You are doing great for our first task. And now, let us proceed to what is it. Let us dig deeper of what is multimodal text and its 5 modes. The 5 modes. 1. Visual. 2. Oral or audio. 3. Gestural. 4. Linguistic or alphabetic. And 5. Spatial. Visual. The visual mode refers to the images and characters that people see. We have an example below. The no guns symbol has no alphabetic text and no sound. Like many signs, it relies for its meaning on visual information. Oral or audio. The oral mode is focused on sound, including but not limited to music, sound effects, ambient noises, silence, tone of voice in spoken language, volume of sound, emphasis, and accent. Example: the recording of a public speech that was delivered orally to a live audience, such as President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, State of the Nation's Address 2020. The third mode is the gestural. The gestural mode refers to the way movement is interpreted. Facial expressions, hand gestures, body language, and interaction between people are all gestural modes. This has always been important in face-to-face conversations and in theater, but it has become more apparent on the web lately with the wide use of YouTube and other video players. The fourth mode is linguistic or alphabetic. The linguistic mode refers to written or spoken words. The mode includes word choice, the delivery of written or spoken text, the organization of words into sentences and paragraphs, and the development and coherence of words and ideas. Linguistic is not always the most important mode. This depends on the other modes at play in the text, the type of text, and other factors. Linguistic is probably the most widely used mode because it can be both read and heard on both paper and audio. The linguistic mode is the best way to express details and list. The last mode is spatial. The spatial mode, as the name implies, refers to the arrangement of elements in space. It involves the organization of items and the physical closeness between people and objects. A good example of spatial mode might be the different ways in which chairs and desks are arranged in a classroom. Here is a traditional classroom. Individual desks are arranged in orderly rows, facing the front of the room to make the teacher, who would stand before the chalkboard, the center of attention. The teacher also stands at a distance from the students. The students who sit in the back could hardly even see the board. By contrast, in this advertisement for collaborative classrooms, we see the chairs and desks clustered in small groups so that students can work together on projects. The classroom is also decentered, which suggests that the teacher and students are working together as partners rather than in a hierarchical manner. All of the people are in close proximity to one another. And now, let's proceed to your next task, entitled What's More? Picture or image perception. Directions. Determine the type of modes using the pictures given. Just write your answers in your notebook. Here are the choices: visual mode, oral or audio mode, gestural mode, linguistic mode, and spatial mode. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And number 10. And now, let's try to check your answers. For number 1, the answer is spatial. Number 2, it is visual. Number 3 answer, linguistics. Number 4, it is gestural. Number 5, it is spatial. Number 6, It is visual. For number 7, the answer is linguistics. Number 8, it is gestural. For number 9, it is audio. And for number 10, the answer is audio. Did you get all the answers right? Well, I bet you did. And now, let's proceed to your next activity, entitled What I Have Learned. Activity 3, Transcribing Challenge. Directions. Transcribe the given emojis or pictures into plain text. Use a clean sheet of paper for your transcription. Are you ready? Then, let's start. COVID-19, a virus. In the last of 2019, there have been reported a spillover of virus from to in Wuhan. Since then, the entire was affected by the said, causing a lot of to be and resulting to some. By the of March, the spread to the different neighboring until it reached the part of the was one of the that was badly affected due to the of cases of affected by the corona reported. The World Health Organization declared a pandemic crisis resulting to immobilization of the were forced to due to the ordered by the. This issue made a lot of to and lost their and the decided that all Filipino are already required to strictly stay at and any with other. Months later, all the Filipino were required to wear and practice proper in order to the spread of the. And now, let's try to check your answers. COVID-19, a deadly virus. In the last quarter of 2019, there have been reported a spillover of the virus from animals to humans in Wuhan, China. Since then, the entire world was affected by the said virus, causing a lot of people to be sick and hospitalized, resulting to some deaths. By the first week of March, the virus spread to the different neighboring countries until it reached the eastern part of the globe. America was one of the countries that was badly affected due to the increasing numbers of cases of patients affected by the coronavirus reported. The World Health Organization declared a pandemic crisis resulting to the immobilization of the economy of the world, where establishments were forced to close due to the quarantine ordered by the government. This issue made a lot of people to suffer and lost their jobs. The Philippine government decided that all Filipino citizens are already required to strictly stay at home and avoid any physical contact with other people. Months later, all the Filipino citizens were required to wear masks and practice proper hygiene in order to minimize the spread of the virus. Did you all transcribe the images and pictures into plain text correctly? Great job! And now let's proceed to your next activity, entitled What I Can Do. Activity 4, Instructional Video Making Script. You are given two options for this activity. Directions. Option 1. Create a 10-minute video presentation illustrating the images provided below using GoPro application in your cell phones or Movie Maker in your laptops. Save the video in a JPEG file. Option 2. Write a script for a presentation using the images provided below to prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus. Here is the picture or illustration that you are going to use in your activity 4. I would like to remind everyone that you have one day to finish this activity, and you can send your output to the teacher's email address or messenger. Since we are done with our discussion, let us now proceed to your assessment. Directions. Read and answer the questions below with your knowledge of the topic discussed. Use a clean sheet of paper for your answers. Write the letter of your choice. Number 1. What is the other term for pictures? A. Illustration. B. Still image. C. Image. Number 2. Facial expressions is an example of A. Spatial. B. Gestural. C. Audio. Number 3. Line, shape, size, and symbols are resources of A. Digital multimodal text. B. Live multimodal text. C. Visual multimodal text. Number 4. This element of multimodal text observes the vocabulary and grammar. A. Linguistic. B. Visual. C. Spatial. Number 5. This element of multimodal text uses color, images, and vector. A. Aural. B. Spatial. C. Visual. Number 6. It is the movement of the body, the facial expression. A. Gestural. B. Spatial. C. Aural. Number 7. Animation, infographics, screencast, and ebook are examples of A. Digital multimodal. B. Print multimodal. C. Physical multimodal. Number 8. Multimodal can be print, blank, or digital. Provide your answer. Number 9. Language modes: listening, speaking, reading, writing, viewing, and videographing are often integrated in composing multimodal text. Is it true or false? Number 10. Emojis are considered as gestural and visual. Is it true or false? And now, let's try to check your answers. Number 1, B. Number 2, B. Number 3, C. Number 4, A. Number 5, C. Number 6, A. Number 7, A. Number 8, physical. 9, false. And 10, true. Did you now get all the answers correct? Great job! And now, let's proceed to your next activity. For your additional activities, it is entitled Tell Me a Story. Directions. Compose an exposition text using multimodal text based on the pictures, still images given below. Use the given rubrics as your guide to do the activity. Use these rubrics as your guide to do the activity. On the screen is the illustration or still image that you have to use in your Tell Me a Story activity. I would like to remind everyone that you have one day to finish this activity, and you can send your output to the teacher's email address or messenger. But before we end up our lesson for today, let us have a recap on our discussion. Remember that we have elements of multimodals. Number 1, linguistic. Vocabulary, structure, grammar of oral or written language. Number 2, visual. It is the color, vectors, and viewpoint in still and moving images. Number 3, audio or oral. The volume, pitch, and rhythm of music and sound effects. Number 4, gestural. The movement, facial expression, and body language. And lastly, number 5, spatial. The proximity, direction, position of layout, organization of objects in space. And that's all for today's lesson. Good job, students! See you again on our next virtual class. Once again, I am your English teacher, Ma'am Cherry May A. Kaduyak. Goodbye and God bless everyone!